Hello, my name is Fraxanet. I'm a first-year PhD student at UPF, and I have also been working with the Computational Social Science Lab Austria. Polarization, echo chambers, filter bubbles, we have heard a lot about it, especially surrounding US politics, always hand in hand with social media as well. But it's not only an issue in the United States. In Spain, and in Austria too, for example, there's a conversation surrounding it. Political polarization is defined as the division into two conflicting or contrasting groups regarding political issues. It's not only about opinion extremeness, which quantifies how extreme is the distribution of positions on various policies, but also needs something called issue constraint or correlation. How are positions on different policy issues correlated with each other, or how easy it is to merge the policy dimensions into one single dimension? Balance theory, defined by Heider back in 1946 and later generalized at the network level by Cartwright and Harari, gives us a hint into how cognitive processes could come into play when individuals interacting have different opinions about a topic. They state that unbalanced triangles, like sharing a common friend with an enemy, tend to create cognitive dissonance or discomfort, and how they trigger processes of opinion change to relieve this discomfort. We apply a methodology based on edge frustration that, even if a bit different from the balanced triangles, follows the same intuition. At the same time, we define political polarization as an increase of structural balance between actors with opposing ideological positions. The more balanced, the easier it is to separate the network into two, and the more polarized our community is. Up until now, works on balance inside networks mostly studied static signed networks with no time evolution. On the other side, we could access time-varying information, but without explicitly knowing negative polarity in the interactions. In our dataset from a relevant German-speaking online newspaper called Der Standard, we can access time-resolved explicitly negative or explicitly positive interactions, covering a large time span of 7 years. By aggregating votes and tracking the users throughout the 7 years, we build our networks for each quarter of year, from 2014 to 2020. With the project we're working on, we would like to see if we can model and study these mechanisms. How can we measure polarization online? Is it increasing? Is it linked to specific peaks that correspond to political events? How is the dynamic reaction to these events? In our preliminary results, we see variations of polarization throughout the time windows, as well as the state of the network, where positive links are blue and negative links are red. The results are congruent with the political development over the same period. Overall, the level of structural polarization is increasing, and moments of acute political crisis and conflict coincide with peaks in structural polarization. Following the start of the migration crisis, where humanitarian help and unity prevailed, several controversial government decisions increased the social tensions from the start of 2016. This led to abrupt alternations of power by very different political parties in the small interval of 5 years, as we can see in the bottom of the figure and in the elections timeline. After these satisfactory preliminary results, we expect to conduct several external validation checks and improve our methodologies.